have enough space. I don't have space on this computer for all the gigabytes of space that I podcast.
Got it. I'm being recorded, I've been told.
Put your clothes back on. Yeah. You're good to go, Nadya.
Hi, I'm Nadya Ginsburg, and you're listening to MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your place for all things Madonna, Louise, Veronica, Ciccone.
Just rolls right off your lips so beautifully.
Yeah. Should I do it once as Madonna?
Can you call her up
Yes.
just like that?
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Nadya Ginsburg doing an impression of Madonna for MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your place for all things Madonna. Yeah.
And hey, everybody, this is Stefan. Thanks for joining us for another episode of MLVC. After too long of an absence from this podcast, I want to welcome back a listener favorite, everybody, Nadya Ginsburg.
Oh, hi. Thank you
Applause,
for
applause, applause, snaps, snaps. Nadya, I'm so welcome back. It's been over a year since you've blessed yourself and genuflect here on the show. I mean, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
I gotta say, I'm.
And how are you in your new home? You're in your new home.
Well, I have Madonna, as you can see. She's looking down. She's blessing me.
Okay, good. Yes.
Yes, and settling in. There's a little too many dogs in the neighborhood for my liking, but I blame the owners. I don't blame the dogs. You know.
How about uncut Puerto Ricans?
Haven't seen any of those yet.
Condolences.
But it's still early, right? I did want to say I was so upset I did not get a chance to see you when you performed in New York City because I was moving into my new home. That exact weekend, I wasn't able to make it up to New York. Did you have a good tour?
I really did. I loved being back in New York. It was very brief, but besides doing the show, the day of, I went to a New York coffee shop, and I went because when I do a show, I'm always like tweaking things like up until the last minute. And I got to sit in a New York coffee shop, which, here in Los Angeles, it's like another comedian I know, Erin Foley. She's a very funny comedian. She's like talked about the culture shock of moving to LA. She's like, she's like, I come from an Irish Catholic. We work on the East Coast. You work and then you die. Like it's she's very funny. And then she said, and then I moved to LA, and there are people, I walk by a coffee shop at 2 p.m. They're playing Connect 4, and I want to go over to them and say, what's wrong? And and you see people like dressed as the person, like they're auditioning for a person, the person going to the coffee shop, even though that's a bad rap. And LA is the most multicultural city in the country, and it's really like living in Mexico in a way. And there's so much more than the entertainment business. But cutting to the chase, it was just so nice to feel that New York energy, that kind of New York energy that Madonna felt when she said, "Take me to the center of everything." There, I had a great show. I had Matthew Rettenmund. Do I pronounce his name correctly? The Madonna historian, and he came to my show.
Nice.
And I was competing with Kylie Minogue, which was not wonderful. So I had a great house, but I kept the money. But some people, I did lose some people to Kylie, but that's understandable. And I had a wonderful time. That's my long.
Yeah, it looked like a whirlwind tour. I mean, you were in New York and then Fire Island, I think, for a hot minute.
Yes, and I had never been there. I had never been, so that I know. No, ever.
Did you walk through the meat rack? Did you get christened?
Well, no, I was in Pacific Grove, and it was a pretty in and out. But so I walked by the water, and I just got the vibe. I like had a little tour of the place, but I could have spent a lot more time
Oh
there.
yeah, it's beautiful there. And can I see your show the folks at home watching you those amazing? Oh my God, those earrings are fantastic, huge.
They were $2, and yes, I'm working them here.
She's brought her bling with her, ladies, gentlemen, and
Yes,
everyone.
yes.
It's amazing. Um, I was gonna say, I was also upset that when I was in Los Angeles this past summer, that we weren't able to connect as well because Nadia didn't want to drive to the beach.
Well, it is quite a long, we were quite a long time, we were far away, which
Yeah,
was fortunate.
yeah.
That it,
The people that did come and visit me at the beach were like, "Oh, why are you dragging me all the way here?" And I'm like, it's beautiful. The beach is beautiful here." But they just, yeah, I get it. An
and I
hour in the
would
car,
have,
you
but
know.
it was just at the time, my schedule was like, I would not allow for that. So did you have fun? Did you enjoy your
I
time?
did. I love the California beach. It was, a little slow, but beautiful people.
Mhm.
And
Nice.
come on, those sunsets on the beach.
With all the pollution, all the color. Incredible.
Well, speaking of tours, you're not the only one who is coming up on a tour. We are only 1 week away from Madonna's celebration tour opening in London. Finally, after a year of Madonna's secrecy, we will have the big reveal. Madonna's big opening is happening on
Yes,
Saturday, the 14th. Nadia, will you be attending
I
the
will.
celebration tour?
I will be attending in Los Angeles when it comes here, I think in March. Um, and I believe this is the Swan song. I
Oh,
think
you do?
I do. I think, and let's get right to it. I have word from Madonna's inner sanctum. I don't
Okay.
mean her vagina. I don't mean her vagina. That since as this is word on the street, I know this is not hot off the presses, that since her biopic was scrapped, maybe temporarily, that the show has evolved in sort of an unofficial, not chronological summation of her life, and which makes me wish it were actually done in a more intimate setting, like
Uh-huh.
the Madam X tour, which I saw, which was beautiful. Um, and yes, I think, I mean, you know how I want to see Madonna? I want to see her on a stage. I want to see Madonna's Sandra Bernhardt version show.
Mm.
I want to see Madonna on a stool with a mic and a piano player. I don't want her to have to dance around. Maybe she can have some dancers in the background, maybe, but not even that. I'm backpedaling. I want to see her just talking, telling real stories, things like maybe even let the audience ask questions and be not prepared, relinquish control, and because I think she can be I think she's much funnier than even the same dick joke she did in on her in the Madam X tour. And I'm not
Hmm.
putting it down, but I know she can be organically funny, and I love her beautiful voice without vocoder or whatever. And I want to hear stories. I want her to talk to the audience. That's what I want. And listen, she's getting older, and I just feel this tour of this magnitude, we saw what it did to her physically, her last tour. So I'm wondering if it is the last tour of this magnitude. What do you think?
I think, I mean, I never say never when it comes to Madonna because you never know. She could say, yeah, this is the last big tour. And then 10 years from now, she'd be like, I'm not old. And
Exactly.
she'll trot herself back out into stadiums. I mean, look at Cher. Cher still does, stay.
She has a biannual farewell tour.
You know Cher very
Yes,
well.
yes, I get it.
Are you
Would
excited that you will now have Cher Christmas music to parody?
I'm more excited that Cher, in her old age, has decided to become a gelato tycoon. Are you aware of this?
Share
Cher,
Lotto.
she has a truck, a fleet of trucks, and there are flavors like ginseng, something, what is it? The flavors, dark chocolate lady. And it's a she has a, and I want to go like I have a sort of pipe dream of dressing like Cher and showing up like undercover boss.
Oh, you totally should do that. Make
How's
sure
your
some.
therapist? Like undercover, but like with a thong and a like a bra and an overcoat. Anyway,
Please make sure someone brings a camera and gets that. Oh, that'll be huge on TikTok. That would be huge on TikTok if you did
and
that.
that's what we're all striving for these days because God is dead. But but
Yeah.
but wait, your question was about Vegas. I have a question for you. Would Madonna ever do Vegas?
I mean, again, never say never. In the past, she said no. And I think it's just because she doesn't feel that. I think she feels that that's selling out, like same thing with the reason why she would never do a Christmas album, now in 10 years, if in 10 years, if she does a Christmas album and she goes to Vegas, I will publicly apologize, but I don't think she ever would. I think that's not her art form. I think she would rather she likes going on the road. That's rock and roll to her. That's being an artist, a legend, taking the show around. The only thing I would love to see her do, if she was ever going to do Vegas, did you see U2 at that orb, that the Sphere, I think it's called, in Vegas? Amazing. Looks
No.
amazing. It's this new concert venue in Vegas called the Sphere, and it's this enormous, so they can do video projection on the outside. So like, how Vegas, it's all like glitz and glam and lights, and so the entire outside has video projection, and then inside it's kind of like if you've ever been to like an IMAX theater where it's sort of like
Oh
the
yeah,
huge,
like you're flying.
but the Sphere is enormous and the whole thing is like video projection. Look it up. The video projection that they had for U2, because U2 is the first artist to like open the Sphere, looked phenomenal. And I thought, oh my God, what Madonna could do in a space like that. Like that would be amazing. So that would be the only way I could see her doing Vegas. It would have to be something like that enormous, like that epic. It couldn't just be like her in this tiny little, because the Kylie's show that she's doing in Vegas, there's only like 1,500 seats in that. It's tiny. Like you can barely fit anyone in there. And I'm like, I don't think Madonna would do Vegas for that many. Like she would want it to be a scene.
I think she might do it because of the connotation of sphere and the globe. Shakespeare's, wasn't Shakespeare the globe? The globe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I also think she thinks that that's kind of like pedestrian, right?
Yeah.
Like I think she's more but listen, you're saying sell out the material girl. That's her thing, is making selling out sort of an art form and making us wonder, is that selling out or not? And personally, that's always been why my fascination with her is she the rebel that's saying fuck you to everybody, or is she the artist saying please love me and I will, because right now that's sort of where I am with her, that there is a grace to someone like Chrissy Hind, or even though that's more of an underground, or even though she's a seminal rock performer, and no, I don't mean semen, that like Cher has allowed herself to become a tribute act. And it is like, as someone, I'm in my 50s, and there comes a time when you're like, I shouldn't look in the mirror and go, I don't look like a 30-year-old. It's okay to look in the mirror and say, I'm in my 50s, and it's okay to look like I'm in my 50s, but look healthy and good for being in my 50s. And I feel
You are not in your 50s.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm not going to tell you what number. I'm not going to tell you because I'm not that brave. This is still Hollywood, and I want to possibly book a role, but and thank you for that shock as someone who is melanin challenged. I think that's what also we should call white people, melanin, that they're melanin challenged. Let's flip the script. But no, do you know what I'm saying? It's like at a certain point, and she did do that with her Madame X album. You know, that album was very personal. But at a certain point, I kind of like, I'm wondering what would the Madonna be that's not so desperately trying. And yes, I use the word desperate because, you know,
I was going to pull that out for a second. Yes.
no,
Is she,
but
do
listen,
we think she's
again,
being desperate?
Some of it does seem that is, and listen, let me just say this right now. If you can't be honest with somebody, I love this country for what it should stand for, but I would never be my country do or die, because that means I don't really love what this country stands for. And the minute someone is above reproach, above criticism, you have dehumanized them. And I will never dehumanize Madonna. Mm-hmm. She is a person. So if I cannot give an opinion about her, it's like why religion is fucked up. We are good and bad. Are these balls? Are these tits? I don't know. But do you know what I'm saying? But to live up to an unreal, that's why we're all on pills, because no one wants to feel anything. It's normal to feel sad. It's normal to feel happy and sad. So if I can't say that I love and respect this woman, but I can't say at times I've thought certain things of hers to be desperate, or like, that's unnatural. It's unhealthy. So, yes, sometimes I feel like I want to know what it's like to be in your 60s, not what it's like to be in your 60s trying. And listen, all my friends are like, many of my boyfriends are younger. I have a lot of friends who are in their 20s. It's really it means nothing. Okay. Yeah. I work with little children. Like, I am on the level of a 5-year-old. So like, yes, I sometimes do wonder if Madonna was not afraid of being judged for her age. What would the Madonna that we see, you know, yeah, I do.
What would her art be? What would her performances be? I mean, I think her Madame X album and her Madame X era was very mature and grown up. And I think a lot of fans maybe didn't enjoy it because it wasn't the Madonna that we were sort of craving, you know. Madonna, not that she's boxed herself in, because I don't believe she would ever really do that, but she, you know, her entire career was spent performing on stage and movement and dance. Yes. And using her body in ways where, I mean, in my 40s now, and I know, goodness, getting out of bed sometimes is like, oh, where'd that ache and pain come from? I've just been sleeping. So I get it, you know, like, to think where she was when she was my age. I always look at her every time I turn another year old. I look at, see, where was Madonna at this age? What was she doing? And I'm like, holy crap. She was like this age doing, you know, like, to think that she was 50 years old when she did the Sticky and Sweet tour. That's one of her most athletic performed tours ever. And to think that she was 50 years old doing that, I'm like, I couldn't do that at 40 years old.
Like an Olympian.
Yeah, it's true.
Olympian, yes. But how much of that is healthy? Like, you don't live longer to have muscles. You know what I mean? Like, but yes, I also do that I mean, I think every Madonna fan does, and that's why we love her. She pushes us. But also, isn't the Queen of Invention supposed to evolve? Like, and she has evolved. I'm not saying she hasn't, but that's why I'm saying that's the tour I want to see. But that also ties into where I am as someone who sort of not mistaken, by accident became known as this. I'm not even an impersonator. Like, an impersonator is somebody who does a look exactly like the artist and then lip syncs or something. I do stand up as that character, but it's really me. And I've gotten to a place in my career where I am a little tiresome of that.
Mm.
So maybe I'm projecting my own desire to strip everything away onto her. But
I think everyone does that. Honestly, I think Madonna is a mirror to everyone who is a fan of hers. I think we look at Madonna, and if there have been times in her career and with her art that we have resonated with, that's when the mirror looking back at us has been happy. So we've been looking at Madonna, and we look at that mirror that she's projecting at that time, and we're like, yes, I agree with this. I love this. This is perfect. That's you on a great day when you look in the mirror. But then there's other times where that Madonna mirror is looking back at you, and you're like, I'm not resonating with this, or I don't agree with this, or I don't like this. And that's sort of when we're down on ourselves. I don't look good today, or I don't, whatever it is. I think that Madonna, and I don't even think she knows, or maybe she doesn't realize, or she doesn't care, that so many people look at her for, how they should feel individually. Like, I think that's why, people are so obsessed with a set list. What songs is she going to sing at the celebration tour? Because there are so many songs that are very personal to people and mean so much. There was, someone was having a really tough time in their life. They were going through a breakup, and Madonna released a song, and that song resonated with them so much that it becomes a part of them. That song is with them. And if she doesn't sing that song, these people almost take offense to it. It's as if, like, how could she not sing this song that means so much to me? It's, like, it's almost as if Madonna is personally offending them. So, it's well, on set list. What songs would you like to hear Madonna sing? Do you have like a set list idea, or do you err on, I want to hear old 80s songs, 90s?
I
I mean,
really
she's been
love
around forever, so there's periods of songs that resonate in all parts of our lives.
I think especially at her age now, coming full circle, I love the idea of her singing the songs that she sang that were her first inspirations,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And because she'll rework them. I'd
Totally.
like to hear her sing like some covers. I'd
Well,
love
we
to
know
hear.
she ain't gonna do that.
I know, but again, I'm getting back to the show that I want to see. That's like, I don't know that I'd go to a Madonna concert going, I hope she sings this song. To me, I'm more like, I want to know what Madonna wants to sing. I'm
I
not like, and I just want to respond to something you said, like all love is a mirror, right? So when you
Yeah.
love somebody, all love is a mirror. So you will see things you love about yourself and not. And also as a comedian, your job as a comedian is to repeat jokes, because those are the jokes that work. But when you've done a joke 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 times, you have less of a thrill, that it's more exciting to, let's say, like, how is this gonna affect these people? But then the audience deserves the well-crafted joke. And I heard actually Joni Mitchell one time, who's had an incredible career and actually had people like throwing beer cans at her at one point. Like, she's really like, she was in concert once and she said, it's so different being a painter than a singer. No one ever shouted at Van Gogh, paint a starry night. So like, yeah, being any kind of artist is always like, you have to please yourself first, and the audience is there, but you also have to please the audience. But
Yeah.
if all you're doing is pleasing the audience and not yourself, you start to get sick inside.
Sure. Well, and I think that holds water for any art. regardless of what art you're in, if you're doing anything just to please life in general, I mean, that's a metaphor for life.
Love.
Sure. Yeah, you can't, if you're doing anything to please somebody else and only to please somebody else, that's a recipe for disaster. So I think, maybe that's a small metaphor for why Madonna may or may not sing Material Girl on the upcoming Celebration tour. We don't know. I would love that out of the Celebration tour, we can get, to me, it's an almost insurmountable task to be able to go through her catalog of songs. She has some of the most iconic music in history, and to be able to go out there and try to please everyone, it's just not going to happen. So
no, nor does she. And that's why I'm really interested to know if this rumor on the street is true, if it really is a telling of her life, of a sort of mini biopic. It'll be interesting to see which of the songs she feels are representative of different parts of her journey.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure I've heard she looks great. I heard she sounds great. She looks gorgeous. And I think, and we've said this over the last couple of months since her hospitalization, I think the one thing is, I think everyone's just going to be ecstatic that she's healthy and alive and on stage. I think we take our icons for granted until we realize we almost, that they're human and that we could lose them. And we had a very real moment of, I think Madonna almost died when she was in the hospital. And so I think it'll just be great that she will be there and be present and be singing and performing for us. So.
Yeah. And what about her hot boyfriend, Josh?
I don't know if that's
to me. What do you mean? She keeps posting about him. What about the funny side coincidence that he was on Summer House on Bravo? Did you know that?
No. But that's what isn't everyone like, Madonna just doesn't pick some random person off the street. I mean, they have to be involved in the entertainment industry in some way, shape, or form, right?
To be in her sphere. No, but I just thought it was like the best revenge is like all these people criticizing her for dating younger men or all of that. She's like, that's the best revenge, that she's getting it from that hot piece of meat. I mean, he's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on board with that. If allegedly that's her boyfriend, if it is, good for her.
Cut the shit. She's why else is she hanging out with him? For intellectual conversation?
Look, if I could, hang around with hot men just for fun, I would do it. Wouldn't you?
But what is the fun of hanging out with hot men? Knitting or fucking? You want to knit with hot men? You want to watch Bravo with hot men?
No, I don't want to watch Bravo, period.
What? Sacrilege.
Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. Unless you were on Bravo. If you were on Bravo, I would watch Bravo.
Well, it's a whole other discussion, but I think it's been reality TV is the reason we're in a golden age of television. And it's mostly women in their 50s and 60s, not cast by the 7 men who supposedly wrote the Bible or 7 white men that run Hollywood. So I think like we're seeing different races, and women that are older. And we're like intravenously, give me more women. Give me women from Salt Lake City. Give me Black women from Atlanta. Give me my Latinas in Miami. And what do they consider wealth? How do they give me Jersey housewives? What do they consider wealth and success and love? And how do they rear their children? I think it's a lot deeper than a lot of people. And sometimes I'd rather see Big Ange, rest her sweet soul, from Mob Wives, talking to her son at the kitchen table about the pizza business he's going to open in Florida. No one could write that. No one would cast Big Ange. And so I'm listen, Lola watches the Housewives. She loves Dorinda, who's a New York woman. Okay, Lola watches The Housewives and she puts it in her stories. And I often wonder if she watches, if she talks to Madonna about it.
About being a housewife?
Yeah. Being what about the whole franchise? Anyway,
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
that one.
She's got a new song coming out. Are you excited?
Um, I liked her album. I was very surprised that she would. I thought, although she was like, actors are annoying, which I do understand as someone who's an actor and comedian and writer. Whenever I'm in a room full of actors or like an acting class, ugh, I'm like, who are these dweebs? Like, there's so much like, what do I have to do this? And what do I have to do that? And this is a 3 camera, and there's like, that's why I'm so much more at home with comedians and freaks and like people saying, this is who I am, not this is what I have to do to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I get when Lola was like, I don't like actors. I can understand why she thought like that's not where I want to go. But I was shocked that she would. But actually, that's a Madonna's daughter move. Go straight to the eye of the storm, where everyone's going to criticize her and compare her to her mother. So I give it up for Lola for that.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't think we'd ever see Lola do music. And when she did, I was like, oh, interesting. And then it was a complete off, like nothing like Madonna is doing. And I was like, well, smart, don't, because then it would invite too many comparisons. And I mean, it already does. I think people were already commenting about, like stage presence and the, catchiness of the music. I'm just like, let the girl live her life, people. Jesus.
And I gotta say, Rocco is an excellent painter. And as the daughter of a abstract expressionist painter, like I don't love gimmicky art. Like I respect what Warhol did, and I'm a fan of the world he created, but I'm not going to be moved by cornflakes. It's an idea. It's kind of a stunt. And if something isn't rendered beautifully or I've taken time, I'm not into it. And I really like Rocco's paintings.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful work.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Talk to me about, because you had mentioned something in our pre-show, talk to me a little bit about Madonna as a relevant touring artist amongst our current pop landscape, with behemoth tours like Taylor Swift and Beyonce just like ruling the planet right now. I mean, do you think, and I'm posing this question to you because I do, but do you think that Madonna has a place in that world? I do, but I'm wondering, do you think she does? I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay, well, before I answer, I would say that if that world is a world, okay, before I answer that, I'll say, is that even a positive? Like, is being the most popular something you strive for as an artist? And is that what makes you relevant as an artist? Okay. At one time, the most popular TV show in the world was Baywatch. Okay.
And
so
did we look at how they all turned out?
Well, yeah, I'm a big Pamela Anderson fan, and her documentary was incredible.
Oh,
and
yeah, she looks great now. I
love
love
her. And
love
not even like
the natural no makeup look.
I just love who she is, and it's terrible the sexism she had to endure. But that I like, and I'm not being stubborn. I'm just saying, like, was having this conversation with my friend Mario Diaz, who's a club promoter and actor. He does a club called Hot Dog, but he owned the Cock. He opened the bar, the Cock, in New York City. There's a documentary.
I have been there in the good old days.
There's a documentary. That's my upstairs neighbor, Greg, leaving. There's any sound. Called Club King, that's all about that at that time in New York. And he said, when I was growing up, I never loved the most popular people. I always loved the people who were in the fringes, the true artists. Okay. So it could almost be a compliment to not be in that big arena. And I did hear some rumblings that it was kind of worked out to Madonna's benefit, not only that she's well, but that her concert was pushed because she would have been in competition with Taylor Swift and Beyoncé. Like, if you're going to walk through life and measure yourself as a success based on competing with tweens, what kind of a person are you? Like, is Toni Morrison or Alice Walker or Gloria Steinem as popular as the Kardashians, which they also I have no issue with, and that's a whole another question. But do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's the problem with this world we're in, is like Hitler had a lot of followers. Okay. He was a vegetarian. He wore khakis. Like, and again, at what price glory? Like, so I mean, I obviously can't answer that question because I don't think it's even important. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you hit the nail on the head with, I think Madonna was the popular, all popular, whereas like she had a time in her career where everyone was on her side. Fans, the media, they all loved her.
well,
And
wait a
then,
minute.
oh,
Nope. She's always had people, death threats, you're a whore, you're fat, you're not pretty enough, you don't sing well, Black Jesus is blasphemous, don't masturbate on stage, you're too old to be sexual, who are you fucking? I don't think she's ever not had to withstand that relentless criticism, but you're right, she was selling albums at a rate that surpassed
right.
others.
I was trying to say that there was the arc
Sorry.
of no. That she had the arc of she was as big as Taylor Swift or Beyonce are right now. She got there. Then she wasn't. And I think she's now come out on the other side of whatever wormhole her career has gone through of it doesn't matter to her if she is or if she isn't. She's doing what she wants to do. She's doing this tour for the fans. And that, I mean, yeah, I'm sure it'll be great that she'll be able to consume the news cycle when she goes because Beyonce and Taylor Swift won't be touring alongside of her. But I think, Madonna is carving a niche out where it's, because Stevie Nicks is still performing and Stevie Nicks is in her 70s. But yeah. I think it's what Madonna's doing is different because Madonna's.
Yes. Well, Stevie Nicks isn't trying. Stevie Nicks is just an artist who is not trying to have an Instagram presence. She's a witch, like in the best sense of the word.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm going to put this art out. If you like it, great. If not, fuck you. This is what I like to wear. This is who I am. She's not imaged. Her, even though she was, even in her prime, one of them, so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Her body was not her, what is it? I can't think of the word.
Not product, but.
Yeah. So they're completely different. She's not trying to be a pop star. She's a rock and roll chick. She's right. So Madonna has created a sort of a new niche, like to be a pop star on that level.
Yeah.
So there's almost no one to compare Madonna to.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like all of her Cher. Yeah.
Except Cher has allowed herself to become a sort of, nostalgia act. I want to make a Christmas album. I want to sell gelato.
You need to work that Cher gelato bit into your.
Oh, it's like,
oh, good. Okay.
Well, I have to do a new show. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did mention it.
And make sure that there's like hot shirtless men serving the gelato, you know, just into the audience, you know, like have it be interactive.
Right.
I'm not telling you how to run your show, but
I know, I love it. I love it.
the gay men who would attend your show would love being served gelato by hot shirtless men. I'm just saying.
I know your audience.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I feel like we got it. Your question was, is she still in that category? Can she dominate in that realm?
Well,
What
and
do you
I'm saying yes. I think she already has. Just the fact that she's still able to do shows to this scale, that she's, you know, selling out concerts around the world. You know, like if the demand wasn't there, Live Nation wouldn't be shelling her out to country after country after country. They'd be like, you can do the United States or you can do London, you know, like they wouldn't be farming her, letting her do that because it's all money. It costs money. I want to know, are we, so I don't know if you've been following. So like Taylor and Beyonce are both releasing tour films in the theater. And it's like saving the theater business. Like AMC is like between that and Barbie and Oppenheimer, that's like saved the movie business. Hallelujah. Thank you, Cher and Cher. Thank you, Taylor and Beyonce and Barbie, for saving the movie industry. But I'm like, please, can Madonna please
well,
release a tour film? I would love in the
maybe this is
theater.
the biopic. Maybe this is that again, how the
The
biopic
reinvention.
has been morphed into the reinvention tour, and it will be a film. So, I mean, it would be, I could really see that intercut with interviews with people. So it's more in depth of a documentary. I'd love to Madonna talk about it. And I actually feel like that would be way more interesting than, like, I loved What's Love Got to Do with It, you know, so on and so forth. But biopics, I'd always rather watch personally a documentary
Mm-hmm.
than some suspending my disbelief, even if it's a wonderful impression that someone is being someone
Right.
else.
I mean, yeah, like,
Lois,
I mean,
Celine, great. A lot of
I love Julia Garner, but you know, honey, sorry, you're no Madonna.
no, she's not Italian enough. First of all, I just feel like, but I love her. I love.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
and
and as unfortunate as it would be to see Julia Garner on the unemployment line, I'm sure the woman will be fine without the Madonna
yeah.
biopic.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, but I agree. Like when Janet Jackson's documentary came out, I think it was like last year or 2 years ago, whenever that was, I was like, oh, I would love this. Madonna sitting down talking about her career and just footage that we've never seen before that Madonna just pulls out of the archives. I was like, oh, that's, I would rather, because not that I had a resistance to the biopic, but I just thought, well, Madonna's not going to be in it. I'm like,
Also, I have to tell you, as someone who is even currently working on something that's self-reflexive about what my life is like, it is very difficult to have enough. Like if you came to me and said, I wrote a pilot, will you read it? Which is, you know, that's how I make a living as well on the side, is doing punch up on screenplays and stuff. I love that. Something that someone else worked on, let me read it, and oh yes, and this, because you're completely removed. But I don't know how good of a product something can be if you are the subject,
mhm.
because even with writing, like you need to bounce ideas off people, because you'll make one of two big mistakes. You'll either cradle a turd, like this is so wonderful, or something that is beautiful, you'll be like, that's a piece of shit. No one's going to want that. And you need someone else to go, no, that's beautiful. But that, so I don't know. I would, my prediction was that it was going to be a very entertaining, so bad it's good cult film. Only because it's virtually impossible, especially with someone like Madonna, who is such a perfectionist and so protective of her image, and I don't fault her for it, that I don't know she would have been able to be that raw and vulnerable. And at this point, I mean, that's what I want.
Yeah. You want
That's
her makeup free on stage with a
well, not makeup
microphone.
free, not makeup free. I don't want to abuse her. Any woman past 35 without concealer,
A little concealer, a red lip,
right?
and a key light.
Yeah. No, do you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I feel like it'd
I
be
hear
really
you.
hard
Oh, I think
to.
it would be impossible for any, because we all have our own egos about, like, it'd be like anyone trying to tell their own personal story. Look at Instagram. How many people actually show the real them on Instagram? If I see one more picture of somebody on another vacation, I'm like, when the fuck do you people work? Like, everyone's on vacation all the time in Europe somehow. Like, they're
No,
always in Greece. I don't know how. I'm like, how are you working? What job do you have? And if it's a sex worker, fine, then I get it. You can have a handy on the beach at Jackie O and Mykonos. Fine, I get it. That's how you're getting all your money. But otherwise, I'm like, people are, do any people do boring office work? Like, where are they getting the money from? I just
totally.
don't get it.
No, two things. I once had an idea of an Instagram where it's only negative things that you feel sad and terrible about yourself. So you can go on there. And also, it's like I once joked with my friends that the more your mouth is open in a picture, like the more you're fucking dead inside and you want to kill yourself. Yeah, the same thing. Absolutely. Okay. Yes. So,
Oh, so Lola must be extremely happy because her mouth is never open on her Instagram.
like I'm one of these people that my face does not look good in repose. Like I can't just that when someone's so gorgeous, you can just be like, and look gorgeous. She has one of those faces where, or a model, you can just, have a deadpan
Yeah.
face. So,
Oh, I'm telling you, some of the people that are in Hollywood or models or whatnot, like there's a reason why, because like they can do things like the camera can look at them with angles and stuff, and they make it come alive. Like there was a picture that Timothy Chalamet posted over the last year, and he sort
Lola's
of like,
ex.
yes, Lola's ex. And Timothy Chalamet had like his hand covering his face in some sort of way. And I was like, he looks amazing in this picture. So I thought, I I wonder if I would look that good doing this picture. So I tried to do it, and I did TikTok about it. And when you look at the picture of Timothy Chalamet compared to me, Timothy Chalamet, it's like an artful photo of him covering his face, and it's like it's just gorgeous. Well, yeah, exactly. Raccoon eyes. When I covered my face, it just made it look like someone was trying to shut me up. And I'm like, this is not good. This is not a good look. Timothy Chalamet deserved an Oscar just for that photo. So yeah, or like sorry, this is my last tirade on this.
No.
The fitness influencers that like they get their phone and they like hold it down by their belly button or their crotch, so that way the camera's looking up and like you can see how often they go to the gym and work out their pecs. And but yet their chin is still defined. If I was to do that, if I held my phone down by my belly button, and my neck would just roll up to my forehead. Like I wouldn't, I'd look like Beaker from the Muppets, like where it's just like this cannon of it. Like it's like neck into head. There's no definition. I don't know how people do it. God bless them.
No, and I often wonder with the younger generation who are buying now dummy phones. So they're buying these old phones that have the old no
Like the flip
camera.
phones.
Yeah, like a flip phone with you can't, I wonder if there's going to be, because the pendulum swinging back to normal faces, like regular faces, and because is the primate going to win out over AI?
Mm,
Because and I don't know. It's a very interesting time we're living
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Well, did you have any other comments that you needed to get off your chest about Madonna?
Um. No, I feel like I'm excited to see the tour.
Will
And
you take a look at spoilers? So she's not coming to LA till next March. I mean, you've got months before. Will you be following with bated breath over what she looks like and what she's singing? And
I'm not affected by spoilers, even like as a writer, when people are like, I don't want to spoil it. It can't be spoiled because I look at it in a like a mechanical way. And no, I'd look forward to that part. I
Oh,
do want
I
to,
bring it on. I want spoilers left and
yeah,
right.
I
I
want
was like,
spoilers. Yeah.
tell me, people.
I've even seen pictures. We've all seen those pictures, right? Of
Sure.
that. Yeah. Amazing. I will have a partial spoiler and tell you my friend Pavi Olivares, which is he's a hair and he's does hair and makeup, but mostly hair, Emmy Award winning hair. And he was the head hair department on the movie Dix, the musical. And I saw a cast and crew screening, and I am telling you, this movie is something else. This is history making art. You heard it here first. Maybe not. Maybe you've heard other things before this airs. It is John Waters meets old Hollywood musical. It is a fuck you to the right. It is brilliant and jubilant and female celebrating. And I got to meet the director afterward, who is one of the original writers of Seinfeld. He also directed Borat, and I talked with him, and and believe me, I've worked with some big names directors, and they shall remain nameless because some were wonderful, but some I'm like, this is this person. You're a fucking dick. You're a fucking sexist dick, and I don't care about your credits. You're a douchebag. And this guy was the most self-effacing, humble, wonderful guy. It's by these two gay men who wrote it. It was originally a musical where they acted all the parts. And Megan Mullally and Nathan Lane. Dick's the musical. And you're gonna love it.
Well, Nadia, why is it that like people who are just mean and dickish,
Yeah.
that they're successful in life? I never understand that. There's so many people that I meet where I'm like, why are you successful? You don't deserve that. Like, you're not a nice person.
I think there are nice people that become successful. I think women are often called bitches and terrible when they speak up, whereas men would be patted on the back. Again, hearkening back to my original, if you can't take criticism, I'm dehumanizing you. I have not heard a lot of like Madonna, like Cher, all I hear is good. Outpouring of love. Um, I think you have to be successful. You have to be willing in your desire to be loved by everybody on a big scale. You've got to be not worried to piss off some people. I
Yeah.
saw Nora Ephron's documentary, and she wrote Harry Met Sally, many other things. And it was called Everything is Copy, and meaning everything is material. And she talked about how when her mother was on her deathbed, she was making jokes. She went on a talk show at the time and said that all married people secretly wish their husbands or wives would die, and she would date Mike Nichols, who was her next door neighbor. Like, you got to have those kind of balls. So, and I am terminally nice, and I'm trying to get rid of it because I'll always be kind, but you got to be willing to not be liked by everybody to be successful, truly, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, yeah, I know. I keep waiting for my success because I'm not liked by a lot of people. I'm
You
like, well,
are
a lot of people don't like me, but where's my success?
You are successful.
Keep
Success
waiting.
also, it comes from within.
Well, so speaking of projects, Nadia, tell us about some of your upcoming projects. I know you've got
Hey,
some things that
oh
you're
yes,
brewing, your witch's brew.
yes. I am so excited to get back to our post-production because it got shut down
Ugh, that
pre-strike.
writer's strikes. It's like,
Yes,
just give them their money. They deserve the money.
happening. It's gonna all come together. But and this was actually unscripted, so but it is a documentary series where they chose 6 queer icons, and I was the only cis straight woman. Although I'm wondering now if I'm gonna have some lesbian experiences now that I'm older and still available. Anyway, I lost track of time. Anyway, it's a like part documentary, part mockumentary, and
Like a
it's
Christopher Guest film?
not, well, it's all, every episode is a different person. So one is on Katya, one is on Tammy Brown, one is on Jasmine Masters, one is on Darren Stein, the director of Jawbreaker, and there are a few others, myself. And so the whole crew came to my house and we walked around my house. Jackie Beat came over, we had a conversation, they taped a show I did. And then I also have a scene with myself and Madonna having a conversation with me. And it really was about being a person known for these impressions and craving my own reinvention. And the person who's directing it, John Mark, he made it for people that were queer in the queer community who he thought deserved flowers, which like could make me cry right now. Like, and I already feel like I am so grateful for the love I experience, the chivalry from the gay community and gay men especially. I feel so held in an embrace. Like, I can't underestimate it. Like, it's overwhelming. And I feel so, it's like, I feel like I've talked about it, but I feel like it's evolutionary. It's why gay God made gay men, and that's to love and protect women in a way that straight men would never love and protect them. And to adopt all the children that the religious right don't want to get born, but give a shit about once they're born because they're Black. Choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. But
that was a good song. That was a good song.
Choke me in the shallow water. It really was.
I love that song.
I mean, anyway.
Well, you've got what? Yeah. So other than the documentary, I think you've got something else brewing too, right?
Oh, yes. Dr. Jackie, unlicensed psychotherapist. I will be playing Madonna in the new season, and it's in a great episode that's coming up. And I also am going to do my own podcast called The Nodcast, a podcast with Nadya Ginsburg and friends. Madonna and Cher may make an appearance. I will have conversations with my friends. And so
Selene, will Selene be on it?
Of course, Selene will be a guest, my buddy, my best buddy. Yes. So so that's a brewing, and and some shows. I'm probably going to spend the holidays writing and stuff. I'll do some LA shows. Hopefully we'll be out on the road in new cities in the spring. I hope to be back to the UK where I went pre-lockdown and did my show there. But I'd love to go to some other European cities. So go
to Italy during the summer. You know, you can make a vacation out of it.
Well, you know, my whole family, I am Greco-Roman. My mother came here when she was 12, didn't speak any English. My grandfather, my nonno, came over, opened a restaurant, got screwed over, and they all moved back. So my whole Italian contingency is in Rome, and I've only been when I was 4 years old.
Oh my goodness, you have to go back.
I know, because you really are what you defend, and I've had to defend being a Jew, but I'm just as much an Italian. And when I see Italians screaming and like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm Italian. But I'm so busy defending myself as a Jew that I don't think of that. And I know I'm going to go there and just fucking cry and be like, I'm going to
scream and eat pizza. And...
yeah. Fuck Italian guys.
Yeah. And like ride a Vespa.
Oh, if that's what they call Italian dick, yes.
Well, everybody, that's our show for today. I want to thank Nadya Ginsburg for visiting the show again. Nadya, tell everyone where they can find you on social.
Please follow me on the Instagram at Nadya, Nadya Ginsburg, Ginsburg, like Ruth Bader. And please follow my YouTube channel where I will be posting my new web series. Pardon me. We're not going to edit that out. or maybe you will, where I will be, please tune in to and follow my YouTube channel where I will be posting clips from my new podcast. And also thanks, here's a shout out to Jackie Beat.
Oh,
Jackie,
look at that. That's a great mug.
friend, Jackie Beat mug.
I need a fantastic mug with myself on it. And remember, everybody, you can find MLVC on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads at MLVC Podcast. I'm going to be going live a lot on YouTube in the upcoming weeks with people from around the world as they attend celebration tour dates. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a video. You can also donate to the show, help keep this show going. We're on Venmo at MLVC Podcast. Nadya, you're amazing. I love you. I can't wait to see you in person finally. Maybe one day you'll drive from the beach. And
oh my God, are you sure you're not Jewish with the guilt? Yes, and we shall embrace, and it'll be delightful. Or maybe
yes.
I'll come to Philly, do a show.
Oh, they would love you here. They would love you here.
I love the energy there.
We'll have a cheesesteak, a soft pretzel, we'll carve it up.
I love it.
You would be fantastic with South Philly women. I mean,
I'm into it. Let's do it.
I mean, like yelling at them, you know.
Water.
You've already got the earrings for South Philadelphia. Exactly. All right, everybody. Until next time. And now I always have to remember where to stop recording. There it is.
Goodbye. Later, bitches.